This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic and what's happening in the world of media and stuff.
I always forget that you had that part during the Roundup episode, and I almost launched into my spiel. The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month, you gain access to not one, but two podcasts. That's hell, you're walking into a monthly series where I trap Ben within the reality marble of my soul, a crystallized representation of how much I love fate in general, and the Nasuverse. And also, you get Takeout, a monthly commentary track where instead of playing things and talking about them, we watch things and talk over them. Very fun. If you think that sounds like a good time, head on over, like I said, to patreon.com/thegorge. We really do appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Special thanks to Holy Star 64, Neon Hellcat, Patrick Perez, Roddy 1/2, so Toby 27, Saturn, Alice Marks, Shia, Magus, Aquamancer, Jack, Liam Lane, and that other one dude.
Hell yeah. Okay. That being said, as I so rudely interrupted you at the beginning of the episode, this is the monthly roundup where we talk about what we've played that doesn't quite justify a full episode yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on in news. So, Do you want to kick us off, or should I?
You go first. You can go first.
Yay! I actually have more than like 2 things to talk about this month, which is exciting. So where to begin? We'll start with the shortest and work our way from there.
All right.
I started Control because it is the PS Plus game for February. It's March now. I should probably check and make sure my PS Plus subscription hasn't expired, now that I think about it. Need to look into that. I started that. I hadn't played it in a couple days because I've been busy with other things that I'll get into. Control is good. Control is, I haven't got too far into it, but man, Control's aesthetic is aces.
Control is actually one of the things on my list too, so we can just talk about that right now.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So this game is making me like Alan Wake more.
Like retroactively? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm realizing that like Alan Wake's its tone is like it carries over to Control in a really fun way. It's almost like sarcastic horror.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't even know if I would necessarily call Control horror just yet. Although I get what you're talking about, like the vibes. But they're both just like fun thrillers.
Yeah.
Like thrillers that are, and it's not like, I always joke about, well, that happened. It's not that kind of like not taking itself seriously, but it's just kind of, it's like having a good time on the way through like this cool action story about like supernatural stuff. And like I said, I understand now why Control won all those Game of the Year awards. It has nothing to do with the video game itself and everything to do with like how strong its aesthetic is. Like, I am also an empty-headed goober who is easily wooed by extremely well-done font choices. Mm-hmm. So I'm just watching this game, and then, like, Central Executive, or whatever it is, pops up on my screen. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, those
get a chill down my spine.
Those really, really good, just, like, blocks of solid text, like in Kill la Kill.
Yes, it's so strong. It's brutalist graphic design, where it's just like, we are going to give you, like, the harshest dispensation of information. We aren't going to make it flowery. We're just going to have very firm sans serif fonts pop up on your screen in your face. No fade in or nothing. I love it. And I've been a graphic designer for a long time now. Graphic design is shit. All I want is revenge. That being said, I played this game and I'm like, wait a second. Maybe I don't want revenge. Maybe I do like graphic design.
Because I love that. I love all of the little details, the corporate posters that are hanging up.
Oh my god, yes.
I absolutely adore the vending machines with the
nondescript packaging.
Yes,
it's so my god, good. It's so good. The first time, this game kind of got me twice, and I'll talk about the second one first, ironically. But the second time it got me, and it made me like realize what kind of game I was playing, and was instantly like, oh, this is that kind of game. I'm really on board. Is after Jesse is promoted, and so on your way into meeting with the board, you pass a painting of the sitting director, like the current director of the Bureau of Control, and it's like an old guy. It's like an old white guy.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay. And you've seen a couple of his posters all over the place. And then on your way out, it has just turned into Jesse.
Yeah!
I loved it.
Oh, that's so good.
It was so, I like did a double, and it's such, I mean, like it's level design 101, or I guess scene placement 101, but they do a really good job of when you first enter that area, like you come in and it's a hallway that, you know, it's a sharp 90-degree turn, and at the end of that hallway before the turn is the director's painting. So it's like the first thing you see when you enter that area. You can't miss it, was what I'm saying. And so that, like, they make sure, they're like, we're make sure you see this, so on your way back, because you have to double back, you're gonna notice. It's gonna, those two synapses are gonna connect.
Right.
And it's great. It's great. The second time that the game got me is the looping hallway that made me flip my shit. The first time the hallway does like a non-Euclidean geometry thing where you do the hallway, and so if you haven't played Control yet, I'm not too far into, so this is not spoilers. This is literally the first like 45 minutes of the game.
Right.
You walk into this hall. It's like an office building. You walk upstairs, and there's a hallway to your left. You go down that hallway, and it leads to a hallway that is like a box. So it's like a square hallway that is supposed to like double back on, or doesn't seem to double back onto itself. With like a conference room in the center, and then offices on either side, right? Mm-hmm. So you go down that hallway, and it doesn't double back onto itself. There's only one entrance into the hallway. That's the important part.
Right.
And so you go down, you talk to the janitor, and when you come out, you come out the same way you came in.
Yeah.
And if you go back that way, you'll double back around. It's crazy. It's really hard to explain, but like the way you came in and the way you exit are the same room, despite the fact that like the path you took should not allow you to do that. And like it clicked, and I was like, oh fuck, okay, Remedy, I am on board with whatever you're doing with this game. Sure. It's amazing.
They have such a good like grasp on aesthetic and like how to like narrative. Obviously they wrote a game about writing a book. Like you should understand, they should know something about how to construct a story.
Right.
But I love it. I love like everything is a little bit unsettling, but not like super unsettling that it's horror. But like if Jesse were and same with Alan, if they were a little bit more passive, this would be a horror game.
Yeah, if they were more like afraid of their circumstances, but Jesse like came here. She was seeking out the Bureau of Control, and so she isn't a passive character. She's there to like understand the Bureau. And so she's taking all of it in stride because, like, again, I'm not terribly far into it. I'm just past the first, like, boss where you meet the chick who was inside the safe room.
Yeah.
I'm, like, right around there. And so she's not a passive character, and what we've heard of her backstory so far, she's used to weird shit. So she's going into all of this with, like, an open mind, and it's not freaking her out. She's just like, oh, okay, this is the way it's gonna be. And so that kind of sets the tone to be like, you're not really supposed to be afraid, you're just supposed to be kind of intrigued and occasionally dealing with like a settling sense of lingering dread, you know? And, it's great. It's great.
It's great.
I please look forward to the full episode of Control once I finally finish this godforsaken game, among all the other video games I'm playing right now.
I want to spoil one gameplay thing that I discovered that, like, elevated this game a whole 2 points for me.
Is it the flying?
It is the air dash.
Yeah. Yeah, this game has an air dash. It's incredible. Sure, why not?
It was one of those things where I'm like, I'm really enjoying this, this gameplay aesthetic, and you know how I talked about when we did Alan Wake, I was like, I like that the gunplay is really forgiving and is designed to make you be aggressive, and, you have a really nice auto-aim.
Yeah.
And then Control has kind of that same thing where it's like, yeah, you can, like, hold down the trigger to zoom in, but Jessie's got a pretty good aim, just shooting from the hip.
Right.
And she doesn't have the AAA character lunge when she starts running.
She just starts running?
Yeah, which I really appreciated.
Yes, me too.
She can actually jump, like, a decent height for a video game character.
Yep. And, because you brought it up, one other real thing. Hey, this is the first time I've played a game with, like, really resistant, adaptive triggers. And it feels so good.
Oh my god, you get, like, footsteps when you're walking on, like, tile floor too. Oh god, I love it.
It feels so good to, like, have the trigger feel, like, really hard, like, have it really kind of resist against you. Oh, man. When they first announced the DualSense, I was like, how good could it be? And I play it, and I'm like, oh, like that, okay.
The DualSense, like, I had to learn that I can rapid fire.
Yes.
I was like, okay, this thing is pulling so hard, like, I'm not supposed to be able to fire this gun quickly. And then it's like, no, you can, you just have to pull it harder.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, there is one other gameplay thing that I found that I love. It's this little tiny thing. So you can pick up, like, files and, like, that stuff, like, they're usually highlighted, or there's, like, a cursor when you get near them, like, it's right over here. There was one I found that was inside an office room, like, or a meeting room with, like, the glass all around for the walls. And I was like, okay, well, this door is like a level 4 security door. What if, and I'm just like, okay, wouldn't it be funny if I could just shoot the glass and get in? And I used my telekinesis to, like, pull an object through the window, and it worked.
Yeah! Now you're thinking with portals.
And I was like, yes, that's good gameplay.
Thank you for keeping that into, like, yeah, of course. Why would you put a level 4 security lock on a room with glass walls? Like, if somebody really wants to get in there, they're gonna be able to get there. And that's great, because it shows, like, the total arbitrary nature of the Bureau of Control. Jacob Geller, again, I reference him a lot on this podcast. He did a video about, like, about anatomy and control. And, the way he explains it is that the Bureau hasn't been here forever. They found an abandoned house and just set up shop in it, So they don't really know how the oldest house works, and they are still an inefficient government entity. So of course they're going to do something as dumb as dog shit as put a level 4 security lock on a room with glass walls. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
There's a few times where, like, okay, so you've met Emily, right? The girl in the safe room, like, and she's like your assistant, like, you go to her and talk to her about, like, hey,
Jesse's
what that?
Yeah, Jesse's future girlfriend.
Yeah, you're like, what is this thing? And she's like, oh, I know what that is. There's been once or twice where it's like, hey, can you tell me about this? I actually can't, because by the nature of our entire organization, all that shit's classified.
It's amazing. I love it. It's super obviously just like, hey, what if we made a AAA SCP game?
Yeah. Oh, I really love SCP, but written good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's SCP, but only written by, like, a handful of people and not the entirety of 4chan's X board, So it's mostly just good. You get a lot of, like, weird, odd shit. I love it. So, By the time you're hearing this, it is not on PS Plus anymore, but if you can get it on sale, like, I would say grab it.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a full episode on this once we're both done with it eventually.
Yeah, it's good. It's good as hell.
Yeah. What else did you do?
That being said, I'm not going to talk about the big game one. So instead, I'm going to talk about Fate Grand Order real fast, so just, sit tight. Fate Grand Order had it reran its CCC event, so it's an event based off, using the characters from Fate Extra CCC, aka the game I'll never get to play at the rate things are going.
So you just have to kind of, live vicariously through Fate Grand Order and just kind of pretend?
Just pet my phone screen every time a character from that pops up, and I'm just like, why? Please translate it. You will be pleased to know, if you are a member of our Patreon, you're getting a free copy of the Fate Extra remake, because I need this game to sell like hotcakes so I can get my CCC remake. So I'm going to buy a bunch and send one to everybody. You're welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I've always heard that CCC is one of the better written events. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, because right. you are eventually going to get to play it, because it comes back as a proper interlude next year with the Ooku rerun. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but it actually is some of the best writing in Grand Order. There's one part that I'm gonna try to be vague about, but Kanoko Nasu is he's a weird pervert who wants to fuck King Arthur.
Yes, we know that.
But he's also a really good writer when he wants to be. And he writes really good existential horror about being helpless. And CCC is packed to the gills with flashbacks of characters experiencing horror through helplessness.
Ooh.
And yes, it's super good. And there's one that is it's the last one before the big boss fight. You get a flashback, and it is horrific. It has stuck in my gob for days. I cannot stop thinking about it. This idea of being knowing you're being abused, and because your brain has been made insane, you both hate it and want to be free and desire more of it, and desire to still have it inflicted on you, because it is still some kind of attention, and you want to be the object of this one person's attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nightmare, and it's so good. And by the end of it has a great emotional catharsis too. It has a bunch of really, really good characters. BB is there, being a creature who loves to cause problems on purpose. Emiya Alter is there, who, if you know anything, if you follow me on Twitter, you know. I don't have to say anything else, you just know.
Yeah, it's just there.
You just know, you understand. And he's good in it too, he sucks, and I love him. And, it was a total blast from start to finish. It's great. It's difficult, but in a fun way. And it's still ongoing by the time you hear this. By the time this goes up, either tonight or tomorrow, it will have 4 or 5 more days. So if you do have FGO and you aren't playing it yet, I know Ben can't because he hasn't cleared all of the prereqs.
I'm not there yet. They don't let me.
They don't let him, because it's hard. I understand why. I get why it's gated, because it is really hard. You would just be throwing yourself against a wall that you could never bash through, you know?
Right. I couldn't even do the Valentine's Day event.
I
hit a wall there.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So imagine that, but more. It was great. It was genuinely great. It uses music from Fate Extra, which has one of the best soundtracks in the series, because it's more electronic, kind of jazzy sound, because it's inside of a computer. It's super good. I love it. It just keeps reminding me, oh right, I really like Fate.
Yeah.
That's right. I have a whole podcast dedicated to how
Fate's
much I like
really
Fate.
good, actually.
Fate's actually pretty good. Nasu is a pretty good writer. And, like, the other thing is... Okay, sorry, one other thing. Is that, like, it's like, yeah, Kinoko Nasu is a weird, horny demon, but he also uses his weird, horny demon nature to write really good, like, sex horror, you know? Mm-hmm. Sex and death, as they say in Silent Hill. And so there's a lot of that going on. Not as explicit as what's in Fate Stay Night, which is just, again, like, it is pornography.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know, talking about sex and sexual desire in horrific terms. And it's like, yeah, this is great. Sign me up. More of this. So, yeah, it owns. Like, it just unequivocally owns.
Awesome.
I guess we gotta talk about the big one. The big-ish one. Guess who started playing Tales of the Abyss again?
Guess who got another handheld to play a PS2 JRPG?
This all came into being because, I was at my dad's house and I was helping my brother clean, because, like, you know how, like, your parents' houses kind of accumulate stuff over the years? And so we were all doing, like, the yearly cleanup, and for a while, a cousin of mine lived with my dad just while she was getting herself back on her feet, and her kids would come over. This has been years, mind you. Mm-hmm. And I guess one of them just left the 3DS at the house, and, like, it's been there for, by my dad's estimation, like 5 years.
So they obviously don't want it that badly.
They don't want it that badly. My dad was like, you can have it. I'm making an executive decision. It's my house. Once it's been in my house for this long, it becomes my stuff, and I don't play video games. So it became my thing instead. So I got a 3DS. It's a really nice 3DS. It's the blue 3DS. Came with a memory card and everything. So
is it XL or regular?
Yeah,
regular?
It's an XL.
Okay.
It's very nice, yeah. I feel very fancy with this thing. And so I was like, I kind of want to play Tales of the Abyss, but I don't want to hook up my PS2, because it's in, like, a closet now, because I had to make space for my PS4, PS5.
Yeah. The big one?
The really big one. So, like, it's only my PS4 and my PS5 on my entertainment stand right now.
I mean, you could get rid of the PS4 at this point, right?
I could. Now that you say that, I probably honestly, I probably should swap it out for the 3 or the 2, because like the 5 is 100% backwards compatible. So, like,
have you done the data transfer to from your 4 to your 5 yet?
Not yet, but I really don't have a lot of saves on that thing that I'm, like, super attached to. Like my FF7 remake save is probably the only one that I need to transfer over, and, like, my Persona 5 save. But if I'm gonna replay P5, I'm gonna play Royal. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
It would have to just be a fresh save. Although I guess I would need to do that so I could get the DLC costumes again. Anyways, so I just got this random whim that I really wanted to play Tales of the Abyss again, and so I bought it off of eBay. I bought the 3DS version off of eBay.
How far are you?
I just got to Kaitsur. So, you know, the Thubris River? Like...
Yeah.
Basically the first time you re-encounter Van after being separated from him. So, like, we're heading back to Batical to get toward to start the Xariath shit. Like, to kind of end Act 1. So the good is that Tales of the Abyss is still a really great video game. Still, surprisingly, it's still one of my favorite video games of all time. Shocker. This game that I've played, that I've beaten, like, 5 times, maybe 6 times. Like, yeah, it's still good, turns out. Voice acting is still amazing. Story is still super good. It's always fun to go back to it and realize that, like, a lot of Tales of the Abyss is just, like, Kirk Thornton and Liam O'Brien just hamming it up in, like, the best way it owns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's really funny. Just be like, oh, you two are having a good time, huh? And then The bad is that this game looks like dog shit on the 3DS, man.
No.
And like,
I mean, I have seen screenshots, and I don't know, maybe it's just I'm forgetting what the actual PS2 game looks like, but it looks really washed out.
It is very washed out. Like, the colors are very odd. Like, Tales of the Abyss has a very unique color palette, and for some people that might mean ugly. For me, being like a psycho who loves this game basically unconditionally, I think it's just like a unique, it's very like warm tones. Like even the blues are kind of like warm shades
like
of blue.
Almost like a green too.
Yeah. So, you know, it's all very kind of like warm and lived in. There's a lot of browns, but not like ugly browns, just, you know, lots of different tones of brown being thrown around. And, like, it's really good. And the color palette in this game is just, like, everything is just slightly off. And, you know, this is a PS2 RPG, so those textures were never very high-res ever. And now they're even worse. Like, all of the background textures are really muddy.
Yeah, 3DS games have that problem of kind of, like, all the 3D models look a little bit pixelated.
Oh, God. Some of the times, like, when the models aren't really zoomed, you know, because like Abyss does a lot of close-ups on the models because the models are actually pretty good for what they are. So like anytime that the camera zooms in on those models, it still looks good. But like when you pull that camera back, you know that joke shot from Final Fantasy VIII where Renoa's like, "You're the most handsome guy here," and Squall looks like his face has been put through a blender. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. And what else? The 3DS is the worst thumbstick I've ever been
real
made
bad.
to. It's real. Why does it slide like that? Why does it?
It's
not a stick. It's a slide.
They had to put it on a hinge. They couldn't put like an actual like stick in there because you need to close the 3DS.
It's so bad. Like, it's not great. The fact that there is no second thumbstick means you have to use the shoulder buttons to turn the camera on the world map. The sound mixing is very odd. Like, the music is kind of like a tinny quality to it that I don't vibe with. Voice acting still sounds good. I mean, it sometimes gets drowned out by the weird sound mixing, but, like, it's fine. Just fiddle with it in settings. So, like, you would think that this sounds like a bad port, and I think it kind of is. But it's also, like, it's still... One, it's still Tales of the Abyss. Two, it's Tales of the Abyss without any of the slowdown that marred the original Tales of the Abyss experience.
No awful load times, no bad overworld.
Oh, yeah. The overworld where, like, runs perfectly fine. Like, you don't have the thing that I thought, where I thought the game was broken, because every time I got into an encounter in the overworld, the game would just, like, stop dead for
it would take like
seconds.
It would take like literally 20 seconds to get into that battle. Yeah,
it was very bad. And then of course the load times between screens was very bad, and we don't have that problem anymore. It's 2 or 3 seconds of loading between screens, which is nothing in comparison.
Yeah.
So it's like, despite all of those problems, I'm still having a great time because I think it is still, like, overall a pretty good experience, like the good versus the bad. I would like to just play it on emulator, because if you're in our Discord, which if you're listening to this, you almost certainly are, we've been talking a lot about how to make the PS2 emulator, like, run very well and make this game look good. I've been kind of juggling the idea of doing, like... Because there is no good high-res playthrough of Tales of the Abyss on YouTube that doesn't have commentary over it, right?
Right.
I kind of want to do, like, a series of 4, like, insane streams where I don't talk and I just stream Abyss in high-res for the sole purpose of putting it on YouTube.
Absolutely. I think that would be cool.
Like, I kind of want to do that. And I mean, I'm talking, like, long streams, like 8 to 12 hour streams.
Right.
Just for the sole purpose of putting it on YouTube, so, like, it can finally be, like, a good playthrough of this game. Like, keep a guide open next to me so there's no like, aggressive pausing, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of considering doing that so that there can be a good looking version of this, because like there is a no commentary playthrough on YouTube, but whatever computer this guy is running it on, God love you, it's running at 15 frames a second. Like, thank you for your service for putting this on the internet, but like literally 15 frames a second. It's super bad.
you want one that's like 1080 60, right?
Yeah, this is I swear to God, I think it's at 360.
Yeah, it needs an update.
It needs an update. So I'm thinking of doing that.
That would be cool.
Check back with me on Twitter and on the Discord when I have this organized, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah. Oh, and one more thing, and then I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So started and got halfway through Chainsaw Man.
Oh, nice.
Chainsaw Man is super, super, super fucking good. Like, holy shit. Chainsaw Man is so good. It's exactly my... It is insanely my vibes.
I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, I know, right?
That it's entirely your shit.
It's Sara core to an insane extent.
So I did recently go and like pick up more or less where I left off. I think I skipped like a few chapters because I couldn't remember exactly.
Sure.
But like I read up to like the end of the first like arc, because like part 1 ended.
Yes, it did. 97 chapters.
Yeah, and so I read like the last bunch of chapters and just kind of
really?
Okay, well, cool, yeah.
Okay, so you're further than me.
I mean, like I said, I think I skipped like a good middle portion of it. I just wanted to see like how it was gonna end.
Right.
So I might go back and reread all of that, but like now that I know that, I'm like, okay, well, now that I know the direction it's going into, I might feel a little bit more inclined to read the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. It can be. I get it. I get what you're saying. It can be off-putting if you're not a psychopath like me.
And like, it wasn't even like, oh, this is too grotesque, or like this is too like mellow, or like gory, or like creepy to me.
Yeah.
I was just like, I understand that this is artistic, but it's not clicking. It's for me.
It's very, so far as I'm into it, I'm at chapter 47-ish. Denji just, spoilers, I'm not going to say that, never mind. Yeah. Chapter 47-ish, where Denji meets a cute girl. But, and I get it, it's very bleak. It has a very kind of, it's very, straightforward in how it navigates like character relationships and theming, and at times it's pretty. I mean, like, there's a character in it who I really liked, and they just off.
Yeah,
hardcore they off, and I'm just like, oh fuck, just like that, okay. And I think if you're not kind of going into it with like the right mindset of this being kind of a harder, very, very streamlined approach to shonen storytelling, it could maybe be a little too much.
Did you ever read the Attack on Titan manga?
Yeah, I did. I read Attack on Titan for a long time before it finally I just stopped vibing with it, you know?
Okay, so you know the part where like it's revealed who the Armored Titan and Colossal Titan are?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you know how it's like kind of like in the background of one panel?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what Chainsaw Man is like in its entirety.
It's very blunt and straightforward, but then like when it goes off, it pops off super hard. Like the part where Makima is using her powers for the first time, like on screen, is insane.
Yeah.
I was losing my mind the entire time, and I loved it. So I really, really like Chainsaw Man. I need to finish it. I stopped at chapter 47 and then kind of got distracted by other things, as you do.
Yeah.
I need to go back and finish it and report back. And I'm looking forward very much to the Mappa anime and the second half of the story, which is going, I assume just because, like, the creator wanted to have more freedom to be his grotesque self.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in Japan, it's going to Jump Plus, which means here in America, it's also going to the Viz, like the Viz library online. Which is also where I'm reading it. By the way, not to be like a shill, because they're not paying me to do this, but I do think the Viz subscription is, like, worth it. It's $2 a month for...
And you get a ton of manga.
You get a ton of manga, and you get, like, 100 chapters a day. So if you're, like, a psycho who loves to just binge read manga, you're never gonna run out.
I, very recently, after getting that, the first thing I did was a reread of all of One Piece. And I was doing, like, 15 chapters a day.
Yeah!
And I was like, oh, this is easy.
Just chew through it. And it's good translations, it's good scan qualities, which when you're, like, an old weeaboo like me, that's something you take for granted.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
When I was your age, I used to be happy with bad scans of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Not anymore, kids these days.
Remember trying to read, like, the last chapter of FMA when it came out?
Fuck.
And, like, waiting for someone to actually translate it?
Oh, I know. It was horrible. What a dark time. Now you can just go read all of FMA. In a day, because, well, I guess technically, like, a day and a half, because, like, you get 100 chapters a day, and FMA is 110 chapters, so... You know, you could just read through all of FMA in 2 days for $2 if you were so inclined. Yeah. So, that's it for me. That's actually more than I usually have, because you know me, I'm easily distracted.
Did you ever read Fire Punch?
No, I did not read Fire Punch.
Which was the Chainsaw Man author's first manga?
I did not. Did you?
It's fucking weird. I got through, like, 3 chapters of that, and I was like, this is even weirder than Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I've heard it's very strange. I might pick it up. I might not. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's on the Viz app. I think I had to, like, hunt down scans of it. But I got through that and I was like, this is weird. I'm vibing with this even less.
Oh well. So what did you do, Ben, other than Control?
I didn't do much. I'm still in the process of moving, so that's eating up a lot of almost all my free time, and the free time I did have was spent playing 13 Sentinels.
Right.
But I did do a few things. I did start a few manga, actually. I started I Tell C.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which, if you don't know what that is a detective mystery manga where the main character uses weaponized yandere-ness.
Yeah, she falls in love with, like, serial killers and stuff, right?
And, like, obsesses over them to the point where they give up to get away from her.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I gotta pick that one up.
It's super great. The art is really, really good. Characters are interesting. It literally just started. It's on, like, chapter, like, 5.
Oh, yeah.
So it's brand new. So, like, it hasn't hit, like, what it's actually about yet.
Right.
They're still in, like, we found this guy and solved the mystery in 1 chapter.
We're still in the setup phase.
Yeah. But I like it. It's pretty well written, and I'm enjoying the art, the visual style to it.
I told you that title has like a pun in it, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it is now. It's
I terushi. It means I love you. So I tell I terushi. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, clever.
I also started Kaiju number 8.
Oh, good. Yes, tell me, because I've been meaning to start this one.
Kaiju number 8 is a fantastic manga that dares to ask the question, what if there was a guy who was really strong?
Yay! Again!
Remember when I talked about reading Mashal? Mm-hmm. And how I was like, okay, this kind of sucks because the joke is just he's very strong and, like, it doesn't seem to go anywhere else besides that.
Right.
and I was expecting more of like a One Punch Man kind of thing, where it's like he's very strong, but also like other characters are there.
Yeah.
Kaiju number 8 is a lot more like that. It's less of a gag manga and more of like a straightforward like action shonen thing. Mm-hmm. With a lot of other like really interesting characters who can keep up with him.
Right. Yeah.
Because the premise of it is that like kaiju attack the city and there's like a special defense force that deals with them. Mm-hmm. And they get these like bionic suits that are made of kaiju parts that like let them keep up with fighting kaiju like with their bare hands and swords and stuff.
Yeah.
What's also really interesting is that like his team are all like trained professionals who work for this their entire lives. Mm-hmm. Whereas the protagonist was the cleanup crew.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like when the kaiju get killed and their corpses are just laying there, it's his job to like disinfect and dissolve the body parts and scrap them and whatever.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So he's not actually good at fighting.
He's just like a big guy. He's just like a strong guy.
Yeah, he gets the typical like shonen power. You have the big super cool power. Mm-hmm. You get the one for or the all for one or one for all. Like it's yours.
You can turn into a titan. Yeah.
Yeah, you get that power. But he's a cleanup crew guy, so he's not really good at fighting or reining his power in.
Cool.
So it's really, really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it because of that kind of like that tone it has. Where it's
also like, sorry, go ahead.
No, where it's just like it is like this guy even though he has all this power, he's still trying to find his place.
Yeah, he's like a late 20s, early 30s protag, right?
Yeah, he's an older dude too.
Hell yeah, we love it, folks. We love to see shonen stories with adult protagonists.
Yeah, it's great. Like everyone, like his coworker, like the guy that like convinces him to join the academy to fight kaiju, is like 15 years younger than him, and it's great.
No, the ultimate disrespect.
Like,
you're technically my senpai.
Like,
and you're older, you're younger than me. Like
literally, the crux of like the first arc where like he has to pass this time is because if he doesn't, he will be too old to attempt again.
Oh, good. I love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's super on my list of stuff to check out now that I have this subscription. I just, other things get played and get read first.
One of the things I will point out is they do a fantastic job of expressing power.
Oh, yeah?
In terms of just like, there's a splash panel where like the first time he like punches a kaiju, like blocks a kaiju's blow, he's so fucking strong that it blows the skin and muscle off of the kaiju's arm.
Yeah!
And there's just the bones left behind.
Raw! Okay.
It's like, fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Okay.
Great. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend Kaiju number 8. The only other thing I've been doing besides, that and Control is, because Union Cross is shutting down, I have been playing a lot more of that. Like, trying to make progress in that. It was a weird thing to wake up to Union Cross just be like, hey, we're ending in 2 months.
Oh, man.
So what they're doing is they are doing an offline mode for Dark Road. Mm-hmm. That will appear later. Like, in a few months, they'll pull out like an offline mode, and I guess because they have to rebalance, like, how it's going to work without it. Because they shut down the jewel shop. You can't buy jewels with real money anymore.
Oh, okay. Man, yeah, they really are shutting it down then.
Yeah, so, like, they're probably going to do a rebalance for, like, how to play the game without, spending money on it. Mm-hmm. And then Union Cross Regular is getting a cutscene mode where if you've been playing it, you can import your avatar and all of your avatar parts so that you can still customize your character however you want in the cutscenes. So that is like, it's still like your character, not just some generic whoever.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is kind of sad. Like,
it's weird to have a gacha game that you're actually playing shut down.
Yeah, and it's like, these people I have, like, in my, we have, like, you can join, like, a group, and they're the ones that will support you. Like, you that's who you draw your friend medal from. Medal from. It's like, I never really talked to them or interacted with them. Mm-hmm. But it's still, like, when it got shut down, it's like, okay, well, here's my Twitter account, and here's my PSN, like, if you guys want to hang out or, keep following us or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I don't talk to any of my... I mean, obviously there's no means to talk to the people who are on your support list on Fate Grand Order. It's like, I use some of these people's support so much, I feel like I know them. Like, Scarletta, if you're out there, thank you for the King Protea. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel too. It's like, I recognize some of these names. It's just like, yeah, I can count on you to give me, like, a good medal that I need. And actually, I was on the Union Cross subreddit, just, like, scrolling through and, like, because I was like, they didn't post a lot of details about, like, what is actually going to happen with Union Cross going forward. Mm-hmm. They were just like, it's shutting down, you'll be able to import your save, and we'll be re-releasing Dark Road later with something new. But it's like, okay, well, what about our pets? Will we get to import the pets? Like, what about our medal list? Like,
right.
I don't really care, but, like, I worked kind of hard to get the medals that I did get, and I would like to just, like, be able to tap them and see my collection,
Sure, yeah, it's still a collecting game. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I found someone posted a screen cap of, like, well, here's my avatar in the game, where we started, where we're ending, and it was someone in my group.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, I know you. I'm super jealous of your avatar because you have a lot of parts that I wanted and missed out on.
Oh my god, that's great. Yeah, it's weird to, like, just shut a gacha game down. Like, I'm still just, like, wondering, like, at the rate things are going, FGO probably has a pretty long lifespan. Like, It's been 5 years in JP, so at least another 4 to 5 years.
What weirds me out is that, like, it just feels really, really sudden, because they're like, here's the last story bit.
Right.
And then it's shutting down in 2 months.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, okay, but, like, you don't want to, like, try to get some new players in where it's like, there's no more story updates. If you want to play, like, now's the time to get in, because you don't have to worry about waiting.
If I had to guess, and this is just, like, speculation, this is probably Square Enix looking at the bottom line after Marvel's Avenger. Like, Avengers kind of flopped, and they went, where can we cut some fat? Like, Final Fantasy VII Remake, definitely, like, that's what kept them in the black. Like, they didn't post a loss last year. But that was because of the remake. It was not because of Avengers, which was a huge disaster.
Right.
And so I'm betting they're like, well, people don't really play our gacha game, and the story is over. I mean, like, people play Union Cross, but not, like, it doesn't do big numbers, So they're like, well, we could easily take everybody working on Union Cross and put them on other things that will be, more successful.
Put them on one of our news articles.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, no, I'm betting that's probably why. They're like, we don't want to maintain these servers. We're just going to, put out the last of the story and then shut it down and, do some goodwill stuff so that you don't lose completely all of it. But still.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Reunion Cross coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2022.
Yes. Please. Actually, that wouldn't be half bad. It'd be nice to have, like, a single-player version of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, actually. I mean, they did that with Recoded, and apparently the DS version of Recoded is really good as a result, like, compared to the phone version.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not?
But yeah, I mean, it's just this kind of weird melancholy, because it's always one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, I didn't play too much of it, because I was like, just get your dailies, do a mission here or there, but it's like, because I always figured I'd have time to do it eventually.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, okay, well, I guess I'd better, like, get through it. Mm-hmm. It's just weird that they're, like, that they completely shut down, like, the the purchasing. You figured it would have been like, here's a discount, you get half off.
I guess it makes sense because like they don't want people spending a lot of money when this game doesn't have a future. Like, it makes no sense to spend money on units and stuff when those units will just be defunct in 2 months. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just really, really hope we can continue updating our pet too, because they have a thing out where you can like get the last one of their like purchase slides now is to spend your remaining jewels on the pet avatars and try to get those.
Right.
And I would like to get them because one of them is an axolotl and I want that really bad.
That's fair. That's cute.
Yeah, so that's just like I've been trying to like get through as much of the story as I can now while I can still play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's about it for me. Besides Control and that and the manga, like I've really been doing. Oh! One more quick thing I did want to mention. I won't talk too much about these anymore. But this one got me actually pretty mad. I got some Transformers for the month.
Oh, okay.
So I might have mentioned before that I've been trying to find a really good looking Ratchet for a while. He's one of the few like major characters that I don't own right now.
Yeah.
I found a 3-pack on TF Source of Ratchet, Perceptor, and Cup, which are just it's a pretty good selection,
sure.
Price wise for that. 3 characters that I do actually like. And they got here. And the Ratchet is terrible.
No!
He has a super awkward transformation into an ambulance. The ambulance itself looks awful.
Oh,
There's like gaps in the paneling all over. His arm keeps falling off.
Oh no, Ratchet.
One of the things you see is like and one of the things I do really like is that like the Transformer parts themselves, like a lot of characters have, limbs and extraneous bits that are designed to pop off. Instead of it breaking, they just didn't, attach it directly to the thing. So like if a kid is trying to mess with it and it falls off, you can pop it back on,
Right.
But I don't know, his left arm is like, I guess the peg isn't quite snug against the hole, so it fits in there and it locks on, but like if I try to move it or like pose him, it'll come off.
Oh man, okay.
He also has this really weird thing where like, and this is like intentional with the toy, like the way the toy is designed, his head is always kind of looking down a little bit, like on the peg it's like tilted forward.
Right.
So he always looks like he's like looking slightly down at the ground.
Well, dang.
So that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Perceptor looks really good in robot mode, but again, his transformation to a pickup truck is really awkward, and it doesn't like quite. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong, but it doesn't quite fit together.
Right.
And Cup was manufactured incorrectly. And so I had to go in and unscrew his chest to flip over a little panel inside his chest.
Oh my god.
So that his head could actually pop down so that I could do like the step where you flip it to turn him into like the hood of the truck.
Yeah, oh my god.
Because I'm like, what the hell? Why is this thing not working? What am I doing wrong with this thing where I can't fit these things together? It's not bending properly. And so I look it up and it's like, if you have to go in and unscrew his chest and flip, this little thing was put in wrong, so you have to flip it the other way so that like it lines up properly now.
Oh my god, that's funny. It's funny that it's so widespread that there's just like a Google guide on how to fix your Cup figure. It's
the TF Wiki. It's the one thing that's really great about the TF Wiki is that like no other wiki about toys would mention that.
That's amazing.
They would, but
God bless the TF. It truly is the greatest wiki of all time.
Written by fans for fans, where it's like, there's a manufacturing problem with this toy. Here's the steps to fix it. It's great. So Cup is the only like grand slam out of all this. Now that he's fixed, he's the only one that looks really good right now.
Oh man. Well.
And then on the same vein, I got Cyclonus. These are older. These are like mid-2000s figures, too. Mm-hmm. I got Cyclonus and Optimus Primal from the new Kingdom line that came out this year.
Okay.
They're great.
Oh, sure.
Holy shit. They're awesome.
Oh, good.
Cyclonus has a really cool thing because he turns into a like a spaceship type plane with like a really long nose cone.
Uh-huh.
His transformation, like, the nose cone is all stored in his chest.
Right.
And it like Russian nesting dolls out.
Cool. Oh my god,
it's
that's
so
awesome.
fucking cool.
Oh my
it's
god.
Great design. He looks great. Optimus Primal looks great. It is weird. I told you last time where it's like you have like classes of like Transformers, like Leader class, Voyager class,
sure.
Deluxe class, etc. Primal, like, and I said like, you know, Voyager or like Voyager class is like more complicated transformations usually. Mm-hmm. Primal is classified as a Voyager class,
right?
But he's a gorilla that turns into a robot. There isn't really actually a lot to transform with him.
Yeah.
Because he goes from humanoid-looking robot to gorilla.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just kind of like, okay, flip his head around and like turn his feet up so they look like monkey feet. And cover up the robot bits with this little sliding panel, and you're basically done.
You're done. Robots in disguise, baby.
But he looks really cool in both modes. Cool. Really happy with those, and it just highlights where it's like, God, the Siege line, or the War for Cybertron line is so fucking good that like all these other toys are obsolete now.
If only they could all be that good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my haul for this month. I have Dinobot and Studio Series 86 Grimlock coming in the mail when they actually come out.
Yay, Grimlock!
Cool.
I like the T-Rex spot. I do like the T-Rex boy. So
he's
yay.
Great. I can't wait to get him. Like people like I've seen people like I follow on Twitter now who are like, yeah, 86 Studio Series 86 Grimlock is better than the masterpiece version of the figure that's like $100.
Oh my god. Well, good.
So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool.
So let's get to the news and the things that have been happening. This has been a fluctuating month. So let's start off with some fun news and some good news and then some weird news.
Okay.
So, first off, here is a full playthrough of that canceled GoldenEye 007 XBLA remake.
I saw some. I did not see all of this. I saw some of it. It's like, man, they were really close.
That's like a damn near complete level.
That's such bullshit.
That would have been so cool. Because they put out that, like, not remake of GoldenEye.
On the Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, no, I want, like, a real remake of GoldenEye 007.
That game is never getting a for real remake at this rate. Like,
it can't.
It's just in, like, absurd rights limbo, you know? Like, it's never happening.
Have you played GoldenEye anytime recently?
Oh, God. And I played it at a bar 5 years ago, so no.
Guess what, guys? That game has aged
good.
Poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I would also like a version of GoldenEye with a good frame rate.
A good frame rate, good aiming, textures. You know, I also would like that version of GoldenEye, thank you very much, but we're never gonna get that.
And yet I can't hear those like stock grunts without thinking of GoldenEye.
I know.
Like
I know.
That's where they're from now. I don't care what you say. That's where they're from. It's from GoldenEye.
It's not public domain. Those are GoldenEye sounds. Shut up.
God, I would love a version of GoldenEye that runs at like not sub 20.
5 frames per second on a good day. If you've just recently cleaned out the cartridge.
Oh no! You walked into a field of proximity mines, and now you're playing a slideshow.
Yay!
But it did look really good. They did the thing where like they cleaned it up to make it look like what you thought N64 games looked like.
Yeah, like they don't look as muddy as N64 games actually look. It's just kind of how you remember it in your head.
Yeah, and then they did the side by side. I was like, oh, that looks neat. When are they going to show the comparison? Oh, that was the comparison. Oh, this game looks worse than I remember it does.
Whoops.
So that's cool. I would like if someone could maybe like pick that up and like finish it at some point. I don't know, and then put it in the ether.
Steal it.
Yeah, pull a James Bond and just steal it.
Yeah, it's fine, and then just release it to the internet before anybody can stop it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, here's some good news. Google Stadia shuts down international studios, changing business focus.
Yay, bye idiots, get lost.
That's the shot. The chaser is Google has now patched Journey to the Savage Planet, though its studio is no more.
Womp womp. Okay, so people losing their jobs sucks.
Yes.
There's the preface. That being said, remember that long rant I went about his name is Alex Hutchinson, that motherfucker who says like you should be paying streamers to stream, you should be paying game companies to stream their shit?
Yeah.
That guy worked on Journey to the Savage Planet.
So this is what he deserves.
Eat shit, bitch. I feel bad that everybody else is having a hard time. I feel really bad for the Terraria dev who was just locked out of their shit and was like, I'm never making a video game for Google ever again.
Yeah! That was the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Infuriating.
Infuriating. It was just like, yeah, I got locked out of my, not even like this, the game, like as a game dev, I had issues working with Google. It was like as a person got locked out of my...
who's had the same Gmail account for like 15 years.
He gets locked out of his Google account, and he keeps trying to resolve it, and they're not letting him, so he's like, fuck it, you guys don't get Terraria now.
Yeah, you don't get Terraria. That guy has got, like, it's a really small dev team. It has, like, a billion downloads, you know? Like, he's not gonna miss Google's shitty business. Like, no.
No, absolutely not.
Like, I feel bad just for the fact that happened to him because, you know, like, we all fucking hate Google around here. But yeah, no, fuck the Stadia. Like...
Yeah, this was not an if, this was a when, and it finally happened.
Yeah, I am shocked. Frankly, I thought they would last longer. But no, like, Google didn't have literally anything ready. Like, to me, that's the most batshit part. I think that's what Schreier was talking about on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that, like, they just bought a bunch of dev teams and then released the Stadia. They didn't actually have any games ready. Well, they bought a bunch of teams and then, like, paid a lot of money to Rockstar and stuff to get, like, fucking Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
And they thought they could just, like, throw money at the problem instead of releasing good video games onto it, you know?
They kept trying to do fucking Destiny and RDR2, like, trying to compete in the AAA game field.
Yeah.
When you could have bought a bunch of indie devs and, like, smaller scale stuff and been like, hey, we're the indie console.
Yeah. Just all you need is one Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of indie games, and if, like, you know, if 10 of them suck, but one of them is amazing and sells crazy, then you have a bunch of people buying your system, and then you start worrying about sticking, like, AAA stuff on it.
Hey, you have a dev team of, like, 3 college, like, you and your college roommates, and Sony and Microsoft aren't giving you the time of day? Hey, we'll give you money to make your game, and then you put it on our thing.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what they should have done. That's what they could have crushed it.
And then you have, like, an install base of people who are, like, enthusiasts who are curious, and then once you have, like, a base of people, that's when you can actually put out bigger titles and you just grow it instead of just thinking, like, well, we're Google, we'll throw money at the problem. It's like, no, that's not how this works. Sorry.
And now
that's literally not how this industry works, actually.
And now you get the Stadia subreddit. People are like, well, wait, So what happens to my games if this thing goes away?
I don't think you get to keep them.
The answer is they go away too, buddy. Sorry, you should have bought physical hardware.
Don't buy all digital consoles that are stored on the cloud. Like, if you have an all digital console like a PS5 or an Xbox Series S, those things are still stored on your hard drive or solid state drive at this case.
Yeah.
Natively. They are in your house as data on a box. But like the Stadia games and shit, they're not stored on your Stadia box.
No, they're in the cloud.
They're on the cloud. They can just take that shit away from you.
And guess what? It's sunny
you don't own
tonight.
That. Oh yeah.
Sun's out today, pal.
Sun's out, and you don't get to keep your shit. I'm sorry. Like, don't buy things on the cloud. Like, yeah, we're all hurtling, unfortunately, toward an all digital games, space. But like, as long as that shit exists in some form on your hard drive, they can't take that away from you. Like, even if the service that makes the game go shuts down, if the data is on your computer, some goober on the internet will find a way to make it work.
Yeah. And I also find it hilarious that they're like, okay, well, our games are broken, but we shut down all our studios, so literally who is going to patch these games that we're trying to get people to buy and play?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't think of a bigger parade of boners.
Just a concert of sad trombones,
just constantly. Just these giant floppy clown shoes stomping down Main Street.
Squeaking down a hallway, letting everybody know that they fucked up. Sorry, guys. Oh well, good riddance, assholes.
Yeah, literally at this point, and nothing of value was lost.
And except for the best way to play Cyberpunk 2077 on a console.
Yeah, ironically.
Ironically,
their one good game was Cyberpunk.
Whoops.
So yeah, bye Stadia. We'll see you,
The new Ouya.
Yeah.
So long, idiot. Yeah, I'm right.
Ouya feels good knowing that they are no longer the worst thing to happen to video games.
The Ouya 2. We called it Stadia this time. Goodbye.
Here's some more good news from a company that really should know better.
Oh boy.
Nintendo is replacing NEX, their multiplayer server system, after 18 years of use. Introduces new NPLN system with Monster Hunter Rise being the first game to support it.
I can't believe this. Why does Smash Online so bad? That's why. Oh, okay.
It's because their fucking online server, their fucking servers are checking if you run Windows Vista.
This is the same shit that ran the original Phantasy Star.
Can you imagine owning, in this day and age, a piece of technology that can connect to the internet that is 18 years old?
I'm trying to think, do I own anything that's 18 years old that could connect to the internet?
I mean, I guess my PS2, but I needed to buy a thing to hook it to the internet.
Oh, I actually own that. So yes, I do own a 20-year-old console that can connect to the internet because I own the hard drive for the PlayStation 2.
But you had to screw a thing into the back of it to get it online.
You have to physically screw it in, yeah.
This is the fucking Nintendo Switch.
Oh my
running
god.
Running Splatoon 2.
On an 18-year-old system.
Was checking to see if there's a computer running Windows Vista. What the fuck?
Oh, Nintendo. It really is the most Nintendo, and I mean that, Nintendo derogatory, mind you. It's the most Nintendo thing I've heard in a long time. This is a company that actively avoids doing anything. They love to sell themselves as being the quirky different company, but like I've said before, if you try to put a story in a video game, Shigeru Miyamoto will cut your hands off with an axe.
Yeah.
just because they do quirky things with their hardware, that company probably is still running exclusively on fax machines. I dread to think what goes on in those offices. I can't even imagine. Like, they probably still let you smoke in there.
So here's my question. They say the first game is going to be Monster Hunter Rise that uses it, right? So are they going to, like, retroactively add this to, like, Smash and Splatoon?
I'm sure, no. The answer is no, that's too much work. They're not going to do that. But I'm sure Splatoon 3 will have it, like, going forward. But no, they're not going to retroactively make, like, their big fighting game good.
After everyone talking about how fucking Grand Slam stellar the rollback is in Guilty Gear, in the demo that the beta that came out for Guilty Gear, they're like, oh my god, every fighting game needs to have rollback.
Yeah, but every fighting game should have rollback mechanics.
Oh yeah, obviously, yes. But it's like, you're not going to fix your online for Smash.
No, of course not. Nintendo does not want Smash to be played professionally on any level. Like,
not even...
they resent the fact that Smash is at EVO.
But not even EVO. Not even like professionally, just like you can still play like with your friends online.
No, fuck you. They don't want you to play anything online. Like, they're probably mad they had to do this for Rise. I bet it was like Capcom was just like, we can't do this. We can't make a video game that checks to see if it's running Windows Vista. We refuse. We've been making online games for way longer.
I just, like, can you just fucking imagine, like, playing Rise and, like, the dissonance between playing Rise online and, like, trying to go back to, like, Splatoon 2?
Oh, I know. I can't even imagine. I was just, like...
18
so
fucking years!
18 fucking years. Technically, I think longer than that, because, like, the system itself has been, like, around longer than that, but the first time they used it was 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Like insane. Completely insane. I mean, I guess welcome to the future, finally, in the year of our Lord 2021.
Yeah, you finally caught up, I guess.
I'm really glad. Oh, God.
Look, I mean, if I'm going to be playing Splatoon 3, like, I'm glad this is happening.
I am glad this is happening, because I am excited about Splatoon 3. But also, like... this explains so much.
We'll get to that in a second. I got a few other news articles to get through before we get to that part, though. But yeah, so I guess good job, you guys. You finally fucking did it.
Yay, you get a gold star, I fucking guess.
So next, Last of Us Game of Thrones breakout Bella Ramsey's to star as Ellie.
God, that was just word salad to me.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone in Game of Thrones, but she's cast to play Ellie in the Last of Us TV show.
Who?
Bella Ramsey.
Is that the name of the actress?
Yes, she played Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay, she played the badass little girl. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That does totally track. And
yeah, I guess Maisie Williams is aged out of that role.
Yeah, and did Pedro Pascal actually get casted, or was that just a rumor?
I think that's confirmed.
That's good. That's good casting.
That's good casting. I'm okay with that. Like, like I said, everybody always wanted Maisie Williams as Arya from Game of Thrones to play Ellie, because like that's another obvious one. But at this point, Maisie Williams is like 21, 22. Sorry,
people were like, why not Elliot Page? Because of the association back then. It's
right.
Because they're like 30 now.
Yeah, he's like our age. Like, no. Ellie is a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like, she's 14. No. That's not gonna work.
He is an adult now, and it would not work.
These are not 80s movies where we're casting, 34-year-old John Travolta to play a high school student. You know what I mean? There are good child actors.
You remember the Space Mutiny episode of MST3K?
Yeah, where the grandma is
playing
the daughter love interest? Yes. I was literally watching that last week.
This is my daughter. We're the same age.
She's also my grandma.
That's just that would happen. It's like, I need to take care of this child, and it's just Elliot Page in a chair.
Oh my god. You're not allowed to drive. I'm 32. Okay. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic because, like, you know, The Last of Us has always wanted to be a movie anyway, so it kind of makes sense to be a TV show, you know?
Now it's living the story or the medium it was always meant to be in.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it's like, well, usually it's like, okay, well, the gameplay is actually an important part of your story and your narrative as a video game, and so you actually need that to be incorporated in your thing somehow. Which is why I'm like, yeah, we already have an Uncharted movie. It's called Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
We don't need another one with fucking Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. What?
It's like,
sorry. No.
Okay, quick tangent. They're making it like a prequel too, where it's like young Nathan Drake, and like at that point, just make it like your own thing. Just cast Tom Holland as like a swashbuckling modern day adventurer.
Yeah, it's just so odd, especially because like
it feels
we have the story of young Nathan Drake. They literally tell it in Uncharted 4. Like there's like extensive flashback sequences of Nathan and his brother in that game.
It feels like they wanted to cast Tom Holland in something.
They just wanted Spider-Man.
But they're like, well, what if we did him in his Uncharted? Well, we'll make it a prequel now so we can look the right thing.
Speaking of adult men who look like they're approximately 14 years old.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's like what, 20? Like he actually is not that old.
No, Tom Holland is older than 20. Hold on. He's 24.
Yeah, so he's not like that much older.
No,
than
Tom
like
Holland looks like he's 16.
He does.
Like that is a man. Well, he's playing a high schooler in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no. He's one of those unfortunate people who's probably gonna look like that forever.
Yeah.
You know? Until he gets old one day, and it's just like, he gets old over the course of a month. You're like, this is a 60-year-old man.
He is like Daniel Radcliffe, though, where it's like he looked like a teenager for most of his life. And now
Daniel Radcliffe still kind of looks...
he does look like older now. Like it did hit him. It's starting to catch up. But anyways, yeah, I mean, next. I guess The Last of Us being a TV show is the way it should be, and I don't know, I'll see what it looks like.
It's fine.
Speaking of zombies, Left 4 Dead Wiki desecrated to add a 5th survivor who is now canon. That's the rules.
Wait, what? I didn't hear this one at all.
Someone went through the L4D Wiki and added Purple Francis.
Fuck you.
I'm not joking. Purple Francis just gets an article now. Much in the same vein of like Bigger Luke.
Okay. Yeah. Purple Francis.
So I don't know. Like he just gets like.
So he just gets to be there now?
They just they went and added him to a lot of things, and I guess like the Left 4 Dead Wiki just isn't really like monitored, you know, as like up to date as like others. So like no one probably caught it for a while, and
so now they're just like, well, you were here for 6 months. It's like squatters' rights. You've lived here in this abandoned house for a year. I guess you get to just stay there now.
Yeah, I mean that's just he is there now, and I can't
amazing.
wait for the mod to start showing up where you can just add Purple Francis to the game.
Oh my god, I hope so. Okay.
Next, Street Fighter V Winter Update confirms the new characters and new mechanic. Mostly I'm just interested in the characters because I don't play Street Fighter V. Yeah. There's Dan, he's in there now.
Sure.
Dan, Rose, Oro, and Akira are the current season pass for that one. Oro is great because normal in Street Fighter 3 he fought with one arm bound up to not kill everyone immediately because he's so strong.
Right.
In this one he only fights with one arm because the other one is holding a turtle. which is
channeling
actually
my energy.
Which is actually a reference to a mode of like the version of Akuma that got tossed around early on, which was that Akuma would have a baby on his back.
Oh my god!
Like
I want that version of Akuma.
Like in a little papoose thing that he would have to carry around, and like
Lone Wolf and Cub. Yeah.
Yeah, he would like you could never knock him on his back.
Okay.
He would always like roll over onto his stomach if he was gonna fall back.
Oh my god, I love it.
But I guess the turtle's a bit more acceptable to like participate in a fight.
the turtle can take more of a beating than a baby.
They also announced 11, which is the precursor to Street Fighter 3's 12.
Okay.
And people were like, "Oh no, is 11 really the last season pass character?" Because the fact that you don't know who 12 is says everything you need to know about 12.
Yeah, I don't know who 12 is at all.
He's a slime monster that uses everyone else's moves because he turns into them.
Oh.
And 11 is basically just allows you to he turns into a random character that's sort of a match.
Oh, okay.
And then he just has their moves.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally he basically exists so that you can pick random in like online mode.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's not the last season pass character. They're adding another one. He's just like a cool bonus that they threw in.
The last season pass character is Dan, right?
No, well Dan is the most current character.
Oh, okay.
They're adding another one. We don't know who it is yet, though.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
But I saw that 11 got announced, and my first thought was, wow, Remy is never coming back.
Yeah.
I think every other Street Fighter 3 character has gotten in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like even G has Q's moveset.
Right.
But like they're never putting Remy back in Street Fighter.
No, never. Banished to the Shadow Realm forever.
He just existed because they wanted an SNK character and someone needed Guile's moveset.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Gone forever.
Yeah. And they did add some cool like mechanics and stuff like that. One of the things that got added, I think universally, is everyone gets a backdash now that costs a meter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is cool. But yeah, I don't play Street Fighter 5, so I don't know anything else about that. But 20 biggest announcements from the Nintendo Direct.
Oh god, let's not do 20.
No,
let's just do the most important.
Not much to cover with that one. The next Smash character got revealed. I don't care about Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I don't care technically. I do love Nerd Rage, and there were a lot of people very angry about this one. So in that case, great. A+ choice, thank you. I think Pyrrha and Mithra's character designs are cute, so that's cool. I do think it's funny, again, because Nerd Rage is hilarious. The number of people who are really, really mad that they censored her vagina bones, as the saying goes.
God, I know.
Because they gave Mithra... they gave Mithra, in Ultimate, Mithra had a spirit, and they gave her, a less...
They gave her, tights.
A less...
They
gave her black tights, and they also covered up her boob window.
Yeah.
They covered... She has a very egregious boob window. And, honestly, it's a better design. Frankly, sorry. It's a significantly better design than, the one that is actually in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because it's just, more solid, and she's very pale-skinned, and she has blonde hair, and she's wearing a white outfit. So it's just, a lot of just pale colors all next to each other. And then they added some black tights, and it's now she has some contrast. That's nice. Looks good.
Yeah.
2, things are always sexier if you cover things up, strategically. Always. Black tights are significantly hornier than bare legs. I'm right about this.
You are.
Can't
You're
change my
totally
mind.
right.
It looks cute. Shut up. So I think it's a very funny pick for those reasons alone. So. Who else are they going to pick? Did I lose you again? Really?
Okay, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care too much about these characters.
Sure.
But I'm not mad because
No.
that I have 78 other characters to pick from.
Yeah, and I mean, this is somebody's favorite character, so
Yeah.
whatever. Like I said, they're not gonna pick, like, rando McFuckin. Like, they're not. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the fucking Smash characters. They're gonna put characters people know in there.
Yeah.
They're not gonna put what's her face from WarioWare. That like
Mona.
so many people.
Yeah.
That like the little pigtailed girl that everybody jerks
Oh,
off to.
Ashley, yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna put Ashley from WarioWare into fucking Smash, guys. Grow up. Like.
They're not gonna put Bandana Waddle Dee in. Sorry, he's not gonna be in it.
No. So, and Waluigi's never getting in. Unless, well, maybe. Unless he's like the very last one, because they finally give in to the meme. But I doubt that.
Let's see what else happened here. Bunch of Mario items coming to Animal Crossing. That looks cool.
Cute.
Fall Guys is coming. Outer Wilds is coming.
How that's gonna run.
That's gonna be terrible on Switch. Are you kidding me?
It's gonna run like dog shit. Both of those.
Outer Wilds might run good, but Fall Guys is gonna be bad.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be so bad.
Mario Golf Super Rush looks really, really fun.
I love the idea of speed golf. Like, I want to play the
Yes.
game just for that. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
god.
Like, I love the idea of, like, golf race. Like, it's so funny to me. Like, yes, please.
What if you took the one thing about golf, which was that it was very calm and everyone took their turn, and threw that out the window?
Just did, like, golf battle royale, basically. I love it.
What else? Famicom Detective Club looks really cool.
I am actually surprised by how cool Famicom Detective Club looks. Kind of weird that they're selling them separately.
Yeah, that I'm kind of bothered by.
Confusing.
But I like that visual style where it's not just like portraits on a background, like they're animated.
Yeah, no, I think the visual style looks really good. Like, that art style is very sharp. Everything's very clean. It's very, like, smoothly animated. I love it. I think it looks super, super good. I'm actually kind of interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mia Phoenix Wright. I love Mia Professor Layton.
Sure.
Hotel Dusk. I'll pick these up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
No More Heroes 3 got a release date, August 27th. Yay! Did you see that cover?
No, I haven't seen the cover yet.
Oh my god, it's like super like mid-90s, mid-aughts Western superhero style.
Hold on. No More Heroes 3 cover. Images. Oh, hell yes.
That looks so good. That looks like those old like EGM covers.
Yeah, no, that looks sick. Absolutely.
For like Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Stubbs of Zombie getting a remaster for
Baffling.
Switch.
Sure.
Neon White looks cool.
That was the game that, like, I mean, like, it looks cool, but the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, the fuck is Steve Blum doing in an Annapurna game? Like,
they spent the money.
They spent the money on Steve Blum for a fucking Annapurna indie first-person shooter. Okay.
Those character designs look sick, though, so it's
They do.
fine. Project Triangle Strategy.
Square Enix.
Keep that name. Call your games Triangle Strategy.
No, do not call your game Triangle Strategy. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, first we have Octopath, and now we have this. Like, no. Please just pick a real name. Just...
No. Keep it that. Keep it Triangle Strategy. They're calling their war over Salt and Iron the Salt Iron War.
It's so bad.
People are making fun of that, but it's like, that's just what we call wars, okay?
I mean, you're right. That is exactly what we call wars. We just give them dumb names because that's what they're about, you know?
We don't fucking call, like, World War II, like, the Battle of Freedom.
No, you're right. We call it World War II.
Because it was the second war that had the whole world in it.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
But no, this game looks like Fire Emblem, but, like, even more, like, jacked up and on some crazy strategy shit.
Yeah, it's a marrying of Fire Emblem and, like, Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, I'm interested enough in it.
I am super interested to see if they stick that landing of like, hey, your
Choices.
choices like super matter, and like
Yeah.
you live and die like whoever you recruit
Right.
depends on your choices. I'm hoping to see a lot of that. World's End Club looks really fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
That's
like
cute.
I like the idea of like a battle royale murder game that just falls apart, and like the
Yeah.
kids have to be like, all right, well, how do we get out of here then?
Guess we gotta go home. Yeah.
I think that looks really good. And the art style looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm super
Art looks
interested in
good.
that.
Animation looks good, so I'm pretty interested.
Hades gets a physical release with an art book and a soundtrack.
Cool.
Neat. Ninja Gaiden Remaster Collection.
Okay.
Looks good. And that's about it, except for Splatoon 3.
The French are dead. Thank God, we're free.
Did you see that? Did you see like the people were talking about the tweet from like 5 years ago where it's like Callie and Marie are headed to Paris?
They took their revenge. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm sort of excited.
Yeah, I mean like the character creator looks really interesting. It seems to imply there'll be a more robust single player mode.
Yes, I hope so. That's more interesting to me. I don't
Yeah.
play multiplayer games.
The upside down Eiffel Tower to me has the same energy as the cruise ship through the skyscraper.
Yeah, and Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, and the intro Fist of the North Star. Like that's what it makes me think of. Did you see the really neat touch in the character creator where the ends of their tentacle hair is starting to dry out?
No.
Yeah, because they're in the desert. It looks really, really cool.
That's funny. Okay, that's cute. No, I mean, it looks great. I love this. I love that, the updates to Cyberpunk 2077 look great, guys.
Mm-hmm.
With this big city.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my god.
That's the first thing I thought.
So I also one more thing. I know we're all super excited about Breath of the Wild 2.
Fuck you. Here's
But
Skyward Sword instead.
But it's not ready, so we ported the game you don't like.
It's the one game that I don't like, that nobody likes. They're selling it for $60 when the game wasn't even $60 when it came out. Go fuck yourselves. I'm not buying that.
They fixed the controls. That's worth $10. No, it's not.
it's
I'm not
not.
gonna get this one.
No, that game is not. I don't like any part of that game, basically. I don't like its art style, because all the character models look really weird and exceptionally dead-eyed in a way that I can't explain. I don't like the art style. I don't like the story.
You know how Link has that kind of fisheye look in Twilight Princess?
Yeah, it's like that, but even more.
Yeah, what if everyone had that?
It's very bad.
But it is the game that gave us Groose, who should be in every other Zelda game from now on.
There's that's about it though.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm like, is there anything else I like about Skyward Sword? No. Okay.
So that was it. The Nintendo Direct was a little bit lackluster, but Splatoon 3 and No More Heroes and some of the other smaller games look really good. Fully playable build of Rare's unreleased N64 game Dinosaur Planet has leaked online.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Which is cool because Star Fox Adventures, that Rareware GameCube game, was originally just going to be a game about a fox and cat character for the N64. And then when as time passed, they're like, okay, well, this isn't really going to work out. Just repurpose it as a Star Fox game for the GameCube.
Right, okay.
So a build of the N64 version has been put out there as a ROM. And it looks like it is the full game, but not a release quality version of it.
Okay, yeah. So,
But I think
it has all the parts in it, but it's still kind of unfinished.
Yeah, you're still gonna run into some glitches and graphical issues here and there. But I think that's really cool. I love the Nintendo Super League continues.
the haunted nature of N64 games continues to this day, because like an unfinished N64 game is that like
Weird.
that people can like play
Yeah.
is primo like spooky material. Yeah, that's
We are one step closer to the Earthbound 64 build.
Oh god.
And then that would put us one step closer to the FF7 N64 build.
The FF7 N64 build does not exist. Like, I don't think it exists. I think that what we have an old tech demo that is like a pre-rendered cutscene that was like a proof of concept, but like, I don't believe the actual N64. Like, I don't think, like, I think Sony or Squaresoft and Nintendo's relationship soured before they had even begun to build things for it. You know, like they did a proof of concept tech demo that you can probably watch on YouTube of like some people fighting a thing. And it has the kind of squatty models that eventually Final Fantasy VII would use. Although they are more evocative of like Final Fantasy VI. But like, I don't think it exists. I could be totally wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't think it exists.
Well, there are screenshots of the N64 build of Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
So that might have been like their proof of concept.
I would like to see that. I think that would be very cool. And I just would like Final Fantasy VI remake mostly.
Yeah, but this is something that I actually do kind of want to play for myself and check out, because I've always been really interested in that development cycle. Because like Star Fox Adventures is such a weird game.
Right.
It really is weird to take a Star Fox and be like, let's make it a Zelda.
Let's make it a adventure Zelda game. Okay.
So I would like to see like where it came from with that. So Anthem development ceases. BioWare to focus on Dragon Age Mass Effect. We knew this was coming.
It's a blessing in disguise. I know that
It
the
is.
team has been shifted over to DA4, I think. So hopefully that means we'll actually have like a real trailer for Dragon Age 4 that isn't just a bunch of concept art.
Yeah.
Sometime soon. I would like some proof that Dragon Age 4 is a real video game that's going to come out the next 2 years.
Well, I don't think it's in this article, but didn't you see the thing where they're like, we're shifting focus to make Dragon Age a single-player game now in the wake of Anthem going down?
Well, God, it sucks so much when it's one of the most frustrating, especially like having worked in currently working in a creative job. It's so frustrating because I know exactly what that feeling is. So like the actual story is that BioWare had a not a fully built, obviously not, but like a vertical slice of a Dragon Age 4 that was exclusively single player. And they took it to EA, and EA said, no, we want Dragon Age 4 to be a games as a service. So they scrapped the single player idea, and they started building a games as a service, Dragon Age 4, and then Anthem flopped, and then so EA went, never mind, make it a single player again. That just makes me want to throw up, because I've been through that exact experience.
But it's one of those things where it's like, no one, like, the audience didn't know that until they said something. So,
Right.
like, when they're like, don't worry, guys, we're going to make Dragon Age 4 a single-player game. And we went, what do you mean you're going to do that now?
Now? Was that not the plan from the start? Excuse me. Hey, can we rewind this conversation? What do you mean now? Why are you telling me this? It was just assumed that it was going to be a single-player game because it's Dragon Age.
That's like... That's like you go to like for like a doctor for like a regular checkup, like just, you know, to just get your, you know, checkup for the year. And they go back and you know, doctor leaves, and after you do some tests, he comes back and says, well, you don't have cancer. And it's like, I didn't know you were checking for that. Should I be worried?
Yeah, no thank you.
What made you think that you needed to tell me that?
It's such horseshit too, because this exists because it's a combination of factors. It's that Anthem flopped, but it's also that Fallen Order did very well. And it's like, yo, single player like AAA games were still doing well before Fallen Order, but it literally took Fallen Order doing well for you guys to get your heads out of your asses and let BioWare make a single-player game? Oh my god.
You remember that SpongeBob episode where, like, he tries to become, like, a performer?
Yeah.
And, like, people get mad at him at the Krusty Krab?
Yeah.
Until he starts juggling and the patties fall on the thing, and he's like, it seems they like when I put these patties on the grill.
Yeah. It's like, why didn't you do that for the whole time? That's what we're here for.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Oh god, they're so stupid.
How
are they this big of a company? They're so stupid.
Good thing Anthem's dead, and it didn't kill. That's what we were afraid of. We were afraid of BioWare's gonna flop, and then or Anthem's gonna flop, and it's gonna kill BioWare.
It's gonna kill. No, but so far BioWare is hanging in there because I mean they still have that name recognition. Even though nobody who made BioWare what they are today works there anymore, but.
They fucking Sherazade hit where they're like, wait, don't you want to hear how Dragon Age and Mass Effect end?
Yeah, that's exactly it. 1001 Nights. Don't kill me. Don't you want to know how the story ends?
Don't you want to know what happens to Talizora?
It's like, I do want to know. You get to live another day.
Okay, one more big thing.
Okay.
Sony had a state of play. It, like Sony Nintendo's, was kind of disappointing, but then it had some good bits in there, too.
It was like, I wasn't as, like, bored as I was with the Nintendo Direct, but, like, it was a lot of, like, well, I've already seen this trailer, and, you know, like, oh my god, it's like, I'm excited for Deathloop. You do not need to sell me on Deathloop anymore.
Look, guys, we all know that Oddworld is coming out, okay?
Yes.
We know. You don't have to keep showing us trailers for this remake of a PS1 game.
Right, like, I am going to buy Deathloop. I promise, guys. There have been so many fucking trailers for Deathloop. And it's like, I know that Deathloop was coming out at a weird time between, like, the Bethesda acquisition and the changing of gens. Like, it's kind of had, like, a weird development cycle, especially with, you know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on at Arcade. They had a lot of projects scrapped, and Dishonored 2 didn't do as well as they wanted. You know, it's been kind of a dicey period for them. So, like, there have been so many trailers for Deathloop, and I'm like, just put it out.
Okay, so we did get a date, May 21st for Deathloop.
Thank God. I am excited. Despite my bitching, I am excited for Deathloop.
I am excited for that game to come out so I can play it, and also so I'll stop seeing trailers for it.
Yes, please.
Same with Oddworld Soulstorm, where it's like, yeah, I know it's coming out.
I'm not going to buy Oddworld, but...
No, me neither, but I just want it to come out so I can stop seeing trailers for it.
Yes, please. It's just like, okay... You know, we had a lot of that. I think Sifu looked cool, but like that like cartoony exploring game with the girl that is kind of Ghibli-esque.
Kana?
Kana, like that looks cute, and I might play that. But again, I've already seen that trailer.
The look at Returnal we got did show a lot more of like what that game looks like. That's just 3D Hades. It's cool.
Hades. Cool. Yeah, we like Hades a lot in this family, so you know.
Just like me playing Control, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this to play like a video game.
It's like a real video game, not like a Sony third-person open-world game. Oh.
She doesn't do the AAA protagonist lunge when she moves, so good.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Crash 4 is getting a PS5 release, cool, with adaptive triggers. I'm excited to see what the DualSense features for Crash look like.
I know. Who cares? We're not here for any of this.
We are. I'm
not here for any of this. It's like, that was cool, whatever. We're only here for one thing, and that's for Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. Let's do it.
That's for Yuffie. Yuffie is here.
We're here for Yuffie.
Guess what? I called it. I said we would see a post-Midgar party member in Midgar, and it would probably be Yuffie being a thief running around in the slums, and I was right. It took me a while, but I was right.
I can't believe it. Somebody pick up that phone because you called it.
She looks great. Her gameplay looks amazing. People were like, why isn't it on PS4? And it's like, look at the shit she's doing. They can't do that on the PS4.
Look, that game is held together with duct tape and prayer on the PS4. I'm sorry, guys. New guy looks cool. I love that he's just a prototype for Sid. He's really blatantly a prototype for Sid, and it's really funny to me.
He's got Sid's, like, mechanics, and he looks kind of like Zack, which is great, because that's just a surefire sign that he is not making it to the credits.
Have you ever seen a more dead character in your entire life? Especially when he's like, I'm not your little sister.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're dead as fuck. Okay.
You aren't making it to credits, dude.
Oh shit, man, you're super dead. Okay. Poor bastard. I think he looks cool too.
He does.
But, you know, I was shocked. Although it's like, it is crazy to me that like. So, like, the Final Fantasy VII Remake happened and there were no new playable characters, right?
Right.
And it was like, that makes sense. That's, like, a thing they don't really want to screw with. And then this fucking DLC is like, nope, there's a new playable character. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, here's this dude. Here's this dude with, like, dual attacks with
like
Yuffie.
Oh, it's so cool. I hope this is a sign for the future and that, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 has team-up attacks, because it's, like, the one thing that Final Fantasy VII needs is, like, badass team-up attacks between everybody. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I cannot wait to see that animation, but Sid is the one doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, like, you know, please give me Cloud throwing Tifa with his sword. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope that's a thing that Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 extrapolates on, because it's a great idea. Yeah, no, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that they, like, showed the photo mode.
Yeah! Oh god, I'm so pumped for that!
I'm so excited for photo mode. I'm glad that the photo mode stuff they showed off were, like, all the hot boss fights. Mm-hmm. Like, they showed off, like, Reno and Rufus. It's like, oh, yeah, you understand. You know. You know what's going on.
I hope they put the Kingdom Hearts 3 digital greeting mode in, where you just, like,
please
place models and locations.
Yeah. That would be very cool.
The remaster does look great. That's a big step up, and it'll fix the textures.
Thank God. Maybe now that when you're, like, climbing over Sector 4 and, like, all of, like, the slums are beneath you and it's just a JPEG. I'm looking forward to that not looking like just a JPEG.
Yeah. But fuck all that. Dirge of Cerberus is canon. Yeah. Fucking.
I've never been more hysterical in my life than when I saw those deep ground. I couldn't type because we were, like, live. We were, chatting about it with everybody else in the Discord when it was happening. I couldn't even. I was incoherent. Everybody in the chat was like, "What is going on with Sara? Is she sick?" No, I'm going insane because as soon as they showed those guys with the armor with the glowy bits, I'm like, that's fucking deep ground. You're going to deep ground in a video game.
I saw those and I was like, those Shinra guards look weirdly familiar and also bad. Huh. What? No. You can't put Weiss in your game.
Yes, they can.
Vincent once again gets cucked out of his own boss fight.
Oh my god, my face hurts just even thinking about all this. I can't stop laughing.
Okay,
no, it's incredible.
So one of the things we were talking about it off mic. I was talking about how I know the most Nomura thing that this thing could end on that would just fuck with everything.
Please tell the audience.
So what it is what's gonna happen at the end of this is because Nomura was like, oh yeah, there's something up with that Weiss, by the way. Mm-hmm. What we're gonna get is a scene at the end of it where, like, Sephiroth goes and finds Weiss.
Shut up.
Okay? And he's like, the plan is coming to fruition. And they talk about some cryptic bullshit that'll be relevant in 3 years. You know?
Yeah, of course.
They drop a few terms that you have to, like, that'll, like, make everyone really mad. But they're gonna do it.
Anything.
They're gonna do it in the basement of Shinra Manor, and they're gonna be like, "Is our subject ready?" And Weiss is gonna go, "He's been ready for years." And they're fucking gonna go to the coffin, and they're gonna open the coffin, and Zack is gonna be in the coffin.
And then you're all gonna go insane, and we're all gonna scream and tear our hair out, and Nomura will just start, like, making it rain. Just dollar bills, y'all. Like, it prints money.
That's my prediction.
I hope. You know what? Anything goes now. Yuffie is a DLC character, and we have a new guy who is a party member. Sure, why not? This may as well be happening, as they say.
Just why not? Why fucking not?
Fuck you. That's why we're doing whatever we want now.
It was just a flash of inspiration that Zack in the coffin instead of Vincent.
Vincent is gonna get cucked out of his own intro.
Because then it goes from what the fuck do you mean Zack is alive to then where the fuck is Vincent?
Vincent, yeah. Oh, who knows? I'm so excited. It's in June, right?
Yeah, I think June.
Very close.
Very close.
Early June.
And then if you're a punk that got mad because things got changed in Final Fantasy, don't worry, baby bird. Nomura's feeding you too. Because
Ever Crisis.
You get Ever Crisis, which is just all the Final Fantasy that you know, and nothing is changed and different.
I am fascinated by this. By the way.
Oh, I think it's really cool.
I think it's extremely cool. It is a episodic, so it's not all at once. They're going to be releasing it over like a period of time. It's an episodic retelling of like Final Fantasy VII and the compilation. So that includes like Before Crisis, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, and Advent Children, which is like,
which is interesting.
Play Advent Children? Like, are we going to have cutesy little models for Advent Children? That sounds great. What are you talking about? So incredibly excited to actually know what the fuck is going on in Before Crisis.
Yeah. The thing that I think is really interesting is that, like, for one thing, how do you structure this? Because, like, you can't just do it in one sitting, basically, because, like, Zack is the protagonist of Crisis Core, and no one else from the original party is with him. So, like, what do you do when you get to the Crisis Core part? Does, like, your party go away?
Yeah.
And then, like, so, like, what I think is going to happen is that there are going to be some minor gacha elements.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Where you just kind of, like, draw characters from FF7 compilation.
Yeah.
And then, like, the story will play out as if they're not there.
Yeah,
kind of like FGO.
It's FGO rules, yeah, I was about to say.
Where it's like, don't worry, it's just you and Mash. Like, don't worry, Senpai, we'll handle this. It's like, Mash, you're not in this party.
Yeah.
You will not be participating. You are not in this fight.
You're still a 3-star right now, honey. I'll get back to you in a little bit, I promise.
So yeah, it'll just be like that, and then, like, it'll be like Zack, doing his soldier stuff, but, like, when you get into a battle, it'll be Cloud, Rufus, and Kadaj.
That would
that's who
drive
you
me
drew.
Insane. That would actually drive me insane. I think that is probably, like, the guaranteed way to make me into a crazy person is to actually let me play as, like, Turks characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. Congratulations, you just got all of my money. I hope you're proud.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, because we've already have seen, like, gameplay of, like, Aerith in the Guard Scorpion fight.
Yeah, and I think they called it a single-player game, so it's not going to have the multiplayer aspect that, like, Union Cross has and stuff like that. But it does totally make sense. Like you just said, FGO rules. FGO is technically a single-player game.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I can accept that,
And there's...
and then, down the line, they will almost certainly do, like, a Switch/PC release.
Mm-hmm. And, like, there's enough variants of characters that you can, like, pull from. Like, you can do, like, Shinra Grunt Cloud and, like, Cowgirl Tifa.
Yeah.
And here's Advent Children versions of all the characters.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it won't, like, you won't get, like, some really dumb pulls that you have to, like, pay money to get, like, the really, really good ones.
I can't wait to roll a 3-star console. What are you talking about?
God. God, 1 star, Johnny.
Yeah, oh, shut up. That actually would... Oh, what are you talking about?
But yeah, I am actually really excited for that because, you know, I like Final Fantasy VII compilation, and I would like to play a version of Dirge Cerberus that doesn't make me angry.
The story will still be dumb as dog shit, but at least it won't play bad. It'll just be a turn-based RPG. Sure. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
And then they also put out The First Soldier, which is Fortnite. Hey, we did see young, hot President Shinra.
I saw that too. I was like, fuck, are you kidding me? It's hilarious. That's set 30 years before the original came.
Yeah, I was like...
Which is just hilarious.
I was like, wait, how can Rufus be there? Wait.
Oh, it's hilarious. Hysterical. Sure, why not? They just look exactly identical. And it's like, Rufus.
Of course they do.
Just don't start drinking and smoking, Rufus, and you won't have to look like your horrible gremlin father. Just a fucking troll, man. It's hilarious. Okay.
So that's it.
I'm still fucking stoked about Final Fantasy VII. I can't believe they did this to me again.
Yuffie looks great. I can't wait to wear that Moogle costume.
She's so cute. Perfect design. A+. Immaculate. Thank you.
I am excited for this. I could not be happier to get more FF7 remake content.
Okay.
So that is all I have.
Good.
Yeah. So, thank you to Vistager for use of background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to listen to Sara talk about other games that she's playing, you can listen to her other podcasts.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We try out a lot of different systems, and it's always a good time. Right now we are playing Masks, a new generation, a game about being young superheroes trying to find their way in the world. It's probably... I used to say that, like, Blaze in the Dark was my favorite game that I've ever played in this podcast. I think Masks is probably my favorite now because, like, the cast is really fun. It's just a bunch of, like, bumbling teens trying to make their way, and I love it. So, come check us out. We are at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
All right, that'll do it for us. You know what we didn't talk about it, but I do have one.
Okay.
Fuck the passage of time and circumstances that led to Daft Punk breaking up.
Oh yeah, Daft Punk. Well, they went out on a good note. I mean, it sucked. They're breaking up because one of them is apparently experiencing hearing loss.
Yeah.
Which is just tragic. But, you know, it's not like they had a big feud.
Yeah, and that's...
Like, they're going out on good terms, you know?
Mm-hmm. But it sucks when that happens and you don't get to continue pursuing your passion.
Yeah, I know. It's tragic. It sucks that, you know, like, man, it just sucks that that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Make sure you listen to Get Lucky, Song of the Summer.
Shut up. I hate you. How dare you end the episode like that? Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.